Alright, what's going on, dudes, and welcome to the first Minecraft Snapshot of 2014, which also happens to be the first one for version 1.8, and also just the first snapshot released in quite a while. We're started off here in the Code 3, and you may be wondering why that is, and there's a good reason for that. It turns out that one of the tweaks rolled out in this snapshot is, as far as I can tell, done specifically for the Code adventure maps, which is really cool. So to quote the changelog, relative teleports have now been made much smoother. So if I walk around here, and you're all familiar with the fact that the code teleports you all over the place, but in doing so it tries to make it seem like you're located sort of within the same room, but it just changes things. So as I walk around here, obviously it's teleporting me each time I walk through this corridor here. So teleported, teleported again, you know, so on and so forth. But you can hardly tell anymore. So as I'm walking around here, it's completely smooth. If you go back and watch some of the videos on the code that are not done in the snapshot, obviously they've been done, well, the Code 3 I recorded in 1.7.4, you'll notice occasionally there's a little skip as I teleport, but now it's just completely smooth and it looks as if you're just in the same room the whole time, which is awesome. Anyway, it's super topical because obviously we're doing the Code 3 playthrough right now, so I thought I'd start off with this, but there's a bunch more stuff to go over, so now we'll go ahead and move on into a regular old world, and we'll check out all the other new stuff. So I'll see you in just a second. So seeing as we were just over in the Code 3, we'll start off with another feature here that's sort of geared towards adventure maps as well. So I'm going to switch myself into adventure mode right now, and then using this give command, I'm going to give myself a special shovel. So at the end here, I have this portion of the command line that says can destroy Minecraft : sand, and the rest of the command is just giving me a diamond shovel. So what this does is it gives me a diamond shovel that has the ability to mine only sand. So now if I look down at the grass here, you'll notice, if you can see, obviously the hitboxes are a really thin line of pixels, so hopefully you can notice the difference on YouTube, but there are no hitboxes showing up on the grass. If I hover over the tool right here, it says can break sand. So what this shovel allows me to do is only break sand. So if I go over to sand, now I have a hitbox around it and I can mine it out. But for any other item that I could usually use the shovel to break, it won't allow me to do it because this shovel is now specifically designed to mine out sand. So it's something cool to be able to use in adventure maps if you just want to have someone be able to mine out a particular block, but nothing else with a particular tool. So that's that. Once again, the command is just /give Minecraft diamond shovel 10. Those are just the data value and such that you have to put in before you add this can destroy NBT tag on the end over here, but that's how it works. And you can put in dirt, something along those lines, or if you had a pickaxe, you can just say can destroy stone, and that's the only object or block that it would be able to destroy. So pretty cool. I'm going to swap myself back into creative mode, and we'll continue on from there with a couple more minor changes. One of those being that doors, now with their usual crafting recipes, will actually give 3 doors in return, and doors, oh, at long last, finally, they will stack on top of each other. So you're going to have a stack of 64 doors now, which is fantastic. No longer do they occupy their own slot in your inventory and just occupy lots and lots of unnecessary space. All right, and then next up, just a couple new crafting recipes sort of related to stronghold blocks. So if you combine stone bricks with a vine, you'll get mossy stone bricks in return, and you can also combine 2 stone brick slabs in order to get chiseled stone brick block in return. Cool. So now let's move on over to some new blocks. I'm going to go on my diving board here, and we're going to dive onto a really, really cool block. This is the slime block that I have down below. And actually, let me switch into /game mode survival so I can show you that you don't actually take fall damage on this. So I'm going to jump off and whee! It's awesome. So each time it bounces you back up. I read approximately 80% of your previous height. I'm not sure if that's exactly accurate. It seems like it might be a little less. But anyway, it's a bouncy block. It negates fall damage, and it bounces you up a particular percentage of your initial jump height. So let me walk on over here. You walk slowly on it as well, sort of like soul sand. So the crafting recipe is, as you might guess, just 9 slime balls. put like so. You'll get the slime block in return, and now you can make your very own trampoline that, well, it's not so much of a trampoline, it's just sort of a springboard, because it doesn't actually allow you to jump high just when you're jumping on it. You sort of have to jump on it from a pretty high platform in order for it to bounce you, but it sort of gives you the ability, I don't know, you could set them up in a particular configuration, so you have to figure out which ones to jump on in what order in order to retain enough bounce height to make it up to another platform in some sort of adventure map puzzle. I don't know, but you got plenty of options there. Okay, so now let's move on to some new types of stone. So if we go into our inventory here, actually, you can see they're all just part of the stone data value as they're showing up between stone and grass, which are data values 1 and 2. So the different types are, you have granite, polished granite, diorite, if I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, polished diorite, andesite, and polished andesite. So these actually generate, or at least not the non-polished version of the stone, generates naturally in the world. We have some granite here. Over on another cliff face over there, you can kind of see the whitish stone that is diorite. So it does generate naturally in the world. You can find it here and there. And there are also crafting recipes. So let me head back on over here so you can see what the crafting recipes are. So in order to change the regular stone into polished, you just configure it like so, just 2x2 arrangement of the stone. It'll give you 4 polished in return of each of the different varieties. And you're also able to, as far as I know, I don't think there's a crafting recipe for granite unless it simply hasn't been found yet, but there are crafting recipes for the diorite, and the andesite. So diorite can be made with 2 nether quartz and 2 cobblestone in this 2x2 configuration. It is shaped, not shapeless. And this is how you make the andesite. It's a diorite and a cobblestone. And this is just how they look laid out in the natural environment. Cool. So that's new stones. Let's move on to some changes with enchantment that I believe are for the better. So let me grab, I'm just going to throw this stuff back in the chest, and we'll grab a sword, and we'll grab lapis because we need lapis now in order to enchant. It actually gives a use for lapis other than dye, which we don't really use all that much. So cool. Finally something we can use lapis for. So let me go into the enchantment table here. I'm going to put my sword in, and you'll notice that when we hover our cursor over these different enchantment options here, it actually gives you a hint as to what one of the enchantments will be. So if I use a level 31, it'll give me knockback 2 as at least one of the enchantments. If I do the level 11, Unbreaking 2 will be one of them. And if I do the level 7, Smite will be one of the enchantments, if not the only one. Now, the only downside of this system is that it won't actually replace the enchantment options when you cycle. So it is what it is. When you put your sword in, the enchantment, quote-unquote, seed, that's how they phrased it in the changelog, stays constant. So you have to actually use an enchantment in order to be able to cycle them. So actually, let me go ahead and switch back into survival mode. That's why I gave myself a whole bunch of levels here so I could actually do a real enchantment. If I try to actually do an enchantment here, you'll notice that it's not letting me because it requires lapis lazuli levels as well. So if I throw in 1, it'll unlock the first one. If I throw in another, it'll unlock the second one. And if I throw in 3 levels of lapis, it'll allow me to do any of them because I have all the enchantment levels and I have enough lapis. So let's go ahead and we will choose this one with knockback 2. It gives me, dang it. If I were actually in a survival series, I'd be really bummed right now because knockback 2 for 30 levels of experience, and now 3 pieces of lapis. That sucks. Well, anyway, what we can do now is we'll go ahead and grab the shovel because it's not enchanted. We'll throw it in, and now you'll notice that we actually have different sets of enchantment possibilities here. So now it's Silk Touch 1 plus who knows if anything else for level 30, Efficiency 2 there, and Unbreaking 1 there. So once again, we can do level 30, and ooh, well, that's a pretty good enchantment. So if I were in survival series right now, I would be stoked with that. Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 4, and Silk Touch. That's some serious business right there. Anyway, so that's how enchantment works now. Just a reason for you to collect lapis, and also you will have to actually enchant in order for the enchantments to cycle. But fortunately, you get a bit of a heads up as to what you might receive in return. So that is cool. Okay, I'm going to go and switch back into creative mode, and then we'll wrap it up with changes to villager trading, which are pretty slight, but nonetheless, it's worth taking a look at. I don't know where all the villagers went. I think they were running around like crazy. Here they all are. Sup. They were just all over the place running around this house. Anyway, so now there are different subtypes for each of the robe types. So I can't remember. I think the farmer is the one with this robe type, which almost all these guys are, and then this is the butcher, and this is the librarian, I believe. But now there are subtypes within all those categories. So right here we have a shepherd. That's a subtype of the farmer category. Right here we have a fletcher, and I'm looking at the top of the menu that I have right here. So fletcher, we have another fletcher here, another fletcher here. Here's the shepherd, and someone just walked outside. I don't know where they went, but they're not coming back because that's 2 blocks, and what are you doing? You're just running all about. Let me switch back to daytime so that zombies don't all of a sudden start attacking these dudes. God, what's with the villagers just running like crazy all about? I've been noticing this lately. Anyway, and this is the librarian. So you get the title at the top of the sheet here. So let me go ahead and we'll complete a trade. Why don't we complete a librarian trade and see if anything happens. So what was it? It was 28 pieces of paper. So let's search for paper here, give ourselves a full stack. And right now, what are you guys doing? Just running all around like crazy. What are you doing? This is ridiculous. Okay. Anyway, let's do one of these trades. We'll get an emerald in return. And the trade values themselves have also been rebalanced, so they're much more reasonable and useful. Whereas previously, I didn't use them all that much because it would cost a lot of emeralds to get things in return that are not really worth that much, or it cost a lot of items to get an emerald in return. Anyway, there we go. So let's see if anything has changed from that. It does not appear that it has. If we do it once more, see if anything has changed from that. It hasn't. However, let me pick that back up. Apparently, as you trade with dudes, they will get... Oh, are you actually getting a new trade now? All right, particle effects, particle effects, particle effects. You get new trades. There we go. Yes. Okay. So as you trade with them, they just get tons and tons more trades that are now accessible. So trading with him twice, I just unlocked 3 more trades that I can use. So 3 emeralds for a bookshelf, 11 emeralds for a compass. That's a bit steep, mister. Or 10 books for an emerald, which is actually a pretty good trade value. So anyway, meanwhile, he's running around like crazy, having a great time. So that's a basic outline of the new changes with trading and everything else. One more minor thing that I have in mind is that if we go into our options and we go into our difficulty, we can actually lock it for a world, so we are not able to change it. So we'll switch it to hard, boom, locked. You can never change it ever again, and I'm not so sure. I'm kind of nervous, but I'll do it anyway because this is just the snapshot world. So now the difficulty's locked. We can never change it again. Oh man, crazy stuff. So there are a few more minor bug fixes here and there and tweaks and stuff, but that's it for the more major changes. So hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, a rating would be much appreciated. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.